Dear friends, in this video I'd like to take a look at the machine on the Vulnhub, which is GoatseLinux 1. The link will be added into the description section below so that you can download it. Before we move forward, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. I do appreciate your help and support. So without further ado, let's just get started. Of course, because this machine was created many years ago, so I think in this video I also like to show you how to solve the issue of the compatibility in terms of the SSH collection. So without further ado, let's just get a real start. As you can see, first of all, I need to do the map scanning. Maybe I can make the zoom in the terminal so you can see what's going on. As you can see, I use the option like sync scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and also the uppercase P N, not to do the live testing for the target. And then I use the option of -P- to do the comprehensive scan, and then use this option to output the result in this file. From the map, we can tell that the target has so many open port number. For example, like 21, which is running FTP. Although from the default scripts scanning with the FTP service, we can tell that this target doesn't allow anonymous login. So I think we do not need to test this manually. And the next one is SSH. Just I mentioned at the very beginning, because this machine is a bit old. More than 10 years ago, this machine was created. So this version of SSH is a bit slow. So later we have some issues with collection for this version. All right. The next one is 25, which is running SMTP service. And the next one is 53, which is running domain service. And next one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information, which is Apache 1. So very old version of Apache. And the next, I think those port number are not very useful. And then MySQL service. And the last one is 10,000, which is running miniserve and webadmin. You know, webadmin is some web manager for the Linux system. And because this version is a bit old, so there must be some vulnerabilities or exploit for this version. Later we can check manually. All right, because just I mentioned earlier, the target doesn't allow anonymous login for the FTP service. So what else? What we can do the enumeration for other service? I think this one just mentioned earlier. Sorry, not earlier, in the other videos, if you have already followed my channel. If the MySQL service is running, maybe we need to check whether MySQL service has weak credentials. For example, we can use MySQL. And followed by the IP address of the target. And the password is root. I think this will not succeed at all. I just show you the a bit standard process for the penetration. You know, it's not allowed to connect to this server. So maybe just accessible locally, maybe, which doesn't matter. Next, we need to do the enumeration for the web application running 80 port number. Let's launch our browser of Firefox first to do the enumeration manually. Yeah, we got the page back. And as always, we can check the source code of this page. This website is still under construction, and also give us some email, or I think this has something to do with the username, maybe. And also we can check the source code, nothing interesting. Next, we need to check whether this site has a robots file, not found. And then we need to use Ligato. Press enter. Ligato, as you can see, can give us like version information, the header information, sometimes can give us the allowed HTTP methods information, even exploits for this web application if it has. Of course, for this case, we cannot find anything interesting from the Ligato. Next, we can use GoatBuster to do the directory enumeration, and we can specify the port number, not port number, the URL. And as always, I'd like to use the GoatBuster as our word list, and specify extension. Of course, in this case, we cannot get anything interesting. I'm talking about the directories or files. And to save time of this video, I will not wait for this to be completed. So now I think we need to turn over to the next web application, which is running on the 10,000 port number. As you can see, this is the web admin. Of course, so far we didn't have any credentials. And so if you want, we can check weak credentials vulnerability, for example, admin and admin as password login failed. And also we can try to use the login bypass technique. Login, not invalid username. So what can we do next? Maybe we need to use such a exploit utility to see whether we can find the vulnerability for the a bit old web admin, okay? Because just I mentioned earlier, this after all this version is a bit old, so we can use such a exploit web admin. Even the Metasploit has some modules for this web admin service, so maybe. Of course, we always prefer to use Metasploit because this can provide a more efficient and more convenient way to make exploitation or immersion. So we can launch our Metasploit console. As it's loading, it's loaded. Then we can search web admin. And this one, the auxiliary, no, not this one. This should be auxiliary. Yeah, this one. File disclosure. Yeah, this one. So we can copy this relative path of this module. We can use this module, and then we can show options. I think we need to set a remote host to the target, and also we need to we want to retrieve the content of password file. We have already configured all required fields to run, so now we just hit run. As you can see, we got the content of a password file. Also, we can try to get another file, shadow. So then we can run. As you can see, we got all of them. So next, maybe we can copy this content and then create two files separately. Okay, so we can use password file and we can copy from this terminal, write and quit, and then we can do the same for the shadow file. We can copy this one, then we can write and quit. Then we can use on shadow. You know, because I think this is also very common practice when we try to crack the password for the Linux system users passwords. And then we can use the John the Ripper to crack passwords, because the password used by those users are not complicated. So this will not take a long time. Because I have already made cracking earlier. So what this John Ripper was doing is to try to crack the password for the remaining password. And yeah, this will take a very long time. And in order to display cracked passwords, we can use John show hashes. As you can see, we got some password, right? Password. So then I think we can use this information to log in. So how to do? We can use SSH. And next you will encounter the problems with SSH compatibility. Okay? And so we can try one by one. GB below. As you can see, we got the error. So you can use the Google to make some research and just add more key exchange method, and the target offer this option. So how to do? Of course, also you can use Google. Yeah, this one. So we just copy this option. This time we got another error, no matching host key type found. So you need to use Google to make some or more search. Yeah, this one. So we can copy this option. Still another error. So again, we can rely on the Google. Google is so useful for the penetration. So now we can use the C option, and we can use C option, and we can select one of them. This is the one option of the matching cipher. As you can see, this time we can no error emerged, and then we can copy this password. We are successfully logged in, and then we can do local immersion to elevate our privilege. Of course, I think the most or easiest way to elevate our privilege is to see whether the users can run sudo. So we can run sudo with L, and we need to provide the password again. So the current user J below may not run sudo on this machine. So before we try anything else, we need to try the same thing for the second user. We can switch. I'll share to this one. And the password is Bobby. And then we can run sudo again. Bobby. Yeah, this user still cannot run sudo. And then we can try to switch to this user. Maybe guest, of course, cannot run sudo from the username itself. We can get this deduction, right? And we can copy the password for this user. And then we run the sudo again. So this user GoatSE can run all commands without supplying the password of a root user. So the next step would be very, very easy to do. We just use sudo bin bash, and then we can get the privileged shell, and then we can navigate to root directory. Do we need to retrieve the root flag? I think no need. Anyway, we have already got the final stage, or get our privilege escalated. So that's all I'd like to do in this video. See you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day.